All right, ladies and gentlemen, joining us now, John Zogby, Newsmax Contributor, Senior Partner at Zogby Strategies, Director of the Keenan Center for Entrepreneurship, and author of We Are Many, We Are One, Neo-Tribes and Tribal Analytics in 21st Century America. John, welcome, sir.
Hey, Steve.
Well, let me ask you something, and I don't have you here to knock other polls, but certain things came to light to me over the weekend, or over my Tuesday when I was off before the holiday started, and that is that CNN poll, by their own admission on their own site, that CNN poll that measured the debate, who won the debate. Before they saw the debate, 58% of those people were Hillary supporters. So when 57% say she won, duh, that's a story. And then I want to put up here, you and I touched on Monday about the Wall Street Journal poll. Turns out, according to a report, it turns out, and this is NBC News' own numbers, that Democrats, strong Democrat polled 26, not very strong Democrat 8, so that's 34. Independent-leaning Democrat 9, that's 45. Then 12% independents and only 20-some-odd% Republicans. So how are we supposed to take these polls seriously?
You're not, and that's a problem. First of all, with in the CNN instance, with the snap polls and the quick samples and kind of a carelessness in terms of ensuring you have proper representation. But that's also a problem with an organization that really had a conflict of interest. I'm going to be very honest with you about it, and that's NBC. Look, the Trump tape was on NBC property. There was an NBC employee. There was an NBC soap opera. They should not have done their own poll. They should have at least farmed it out to somebody else to do.
No, that's very interesting, and that's a great point. And on top of the conflict of interest, which you so rightly point out, you're a pollster. How do you get all those Democrats, only 12% independents, and 20-something% Republicans? Why would you do a poll like that?
You've always known me for years, for decades now, as an independent and as a maverick. And the maverick part of me is that, we all adjust our samples. I adjust samples by party identification. But that, Steve, to be honest with you, even after my raw data comes in, I never have ever gotten such an underrepresentation of Republicans. And as you know, I'm not even a Republican.
Right.
I'm just a pollster. That's all. And essentially, that is just not America. 24% Republican is just not America.
And but you believe that this is a bias that they have?
I think no, I'm not going to go that far. I'm only going to suggest that it's time to review the industry as we've had to review the industry over the last couple of decades, but also to remind people that they have to be good consumers of polls, and they have to ask questions about likely voters and about who was represented in the sample.
All right, so quickly, how are these new allegations going to affect the polls?
I don't know. I think there's a natural gravitational pull here that pulls Trump into the low 40s and pulls Hillary into the low 40s. Barring anything unforeseen, I think it's a close race. The new allegations, we just have to wait and see. I'm not going to predict.
John, great to talk to you, sir.
Good to talk to you, too.